We meet here today to witness a free ceremony, the union of Jennifer and Patrick, two very free-spirited persons.
Välkomna familj och vänner till denna dag där vi ska samföra Patrick och Jennifer, dessa fria själar.
But every free spirit needs roots and foundation. Jennifer and Patrick feel deeply rooted in the beautiful countrysides where they grew up.
Men alla fria själar behöver ett fundament. Och Patrick och Jennifer finner sitt i naturen.
They both hold dear childhood memories, running around with siblings or friends, playing in the woods all day long, and in case of Jennifer, riding at a wild pace through the mountain area with her sister Jackie.
De har båda fina minnen av att springa omkring i sin barndom i naturen. Och särskilt Jennifer som red omkring i Dalarna på hästar med sin syster.
Until today, they love to be in nature.
Och än i den dagen så älskar de att vara ute i naturen.
Therefore, it felt natural to them to get married under the open sky on this grassy hill.
Och därför så är vi här idag under en öppen himmel för att viga det.
They feel especially blessed to be joined today by family and friends. In times of this pandemic, many things we were once sure of are very uncertain indeed.
Under den här pandemin så känner de sig extra oroliga och de är extra glada att alla ni kunde vara här med oss idag.
The planning of this wedding felt like a roller coaster to Jennifer and Patrick.
Planeringen kändes som en berg- och dalbana för Jennifer och Patrick.
Both were very devastated as restrictions around COVID made it initially impossible for Jennifer's family to come to Sweden. It was especially hard on Jennifer.
Från början så kunde inte Jennifers familj komma hit på grund av restriktionerna med covid. Och det var extra hårt för Jennifer såklart.
Shortly before the flight, her sister fell ill with fever, probably with COVID, and couldn't come on the plane.
Precis före flyget hit så blev hennes syster sjuk, förmodligen i covid, och kunde tyvärr inte närvara.
This is sad, but the happier both are today that the rest of you made it, even though it was on a very short notice.
Och de är ändå extra glada att folk kunde komma trots covid och då med en så kort tidsspann.
I now kindly ask you to turn off your mobile devices to focus on these two beautiful people. And please let the photographers capture these precious moments for all of us.
Var vänliga stänga av era mobiler så vi inte blir störda medan vi bevittnar samförandet av dessa två vackra människor.
Please join and give the gift of your loving attention to Jennifer and Patrick.
Var vänliga, ge er all uppmärksamhet och kärlek till dessa två.
It is their special and long-awaited day, and we make it complete through our presence.
Det är deras speciella dag och vi gör den extra speciell med vår närvaro.
But how did it all started? Patrick, you embarked on a journey to change your life and make it the life you want to live fully. You consciously made this decision on your 40th birthday. A major part of your plan was to finally meet the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with. Stefan helped you with your plan and opened your eyes for the enjoyments of life. As a start, you both bought new clothing for you, as your range of clothing before was rather limited. Either working clothes or pyjamas. You also made some travels together. It was one of these travels to Iceland when you, Patrick, realized how your life started changing dramatically indeed. Only shortly you were introduced to a new kind of medicine which allowed you to be outside in the sun. Not only that, you both climbed a mountain and you felt a strength in your muscles you hadn't felt before. Because of your MS, even climbing stairs had been difficult. This day, you made it right to the top of the mountain. You were overwhelmed with feelings of joy and gratefulness. It felt like an initiation into life for a second time. Of course, you had no idea that the woman you longed for so much would soon be entering the country. Jennifer, you in the meanwhile were applying for several jobs all over Europe. Your choice to be contracted in Sweden was more of a coincidence, as you followed a rather random advice of a friend to opt for Sweden. You used to live close to your parents and then decided some years before to set out for New York. You made many international friends and enjoyed the different cultures in this huge melting pot. As a scientist by heart, Jennifer is a very curious mind, and you wanted to see as much as possible in your life. Europe was calling. You were out for new experiences and you wanted to try new things. From your stay in New York, you learned to get to know a place. You learned to get to know a place is to live there. So that was your plan. Patrick envisioned himself always as a father. Jennifer, on the contrary, never could imagine living a traditional mother's life. To make matters more complicated, they don't share the same mother language and stem from different cultures. However, in March 2014, Jennifer came to Sweden and you two already met shortly after midsummer. When you saw each other, Jennifer's impression of Patrick was, I'm not sure. You were in the same large circle of friends, and at one dinner you ended up sitting next to each other, which got everything going. But not for very long. The cultural differences showed, unfortunately, also in dating. Jennifer, you stressed it a few times. We weren't on the same page at all. Dear guests, to explain the cultural gap to all of you, in the US, the guy is pursuing the girl. He should keep inviting on dates. And as a girl, you have to wait. You wait how long he waits to call, because that shows how interested he is. Quite the opposite in Sweden. The woman should invite the man just as much as the man invites the woman. Poor Jennifer. Of course, that left you really confused. Patrick were obviously sending signals in opposing directions, which left you convinced he was not really interested. I still hear Patrick's exclamation, "I didn't have any response." And Jennifer, he was not texting, he was not calling, he was not nothing. Nonetheless, I can reveal to you it will work out fine, because there was this trip to Paris. You went with a group of friends, and for some coincidental reason, you ended up on the Eiffel Tower alone at night. You captured this moment with a photo, and for you, Patrick, this was the starting point. You realized, I want her back. Oh my God, I'm in love with this person. She will be mine. And you began making plans how to do that in the best possible way. Jennifer, you perceived him at least a bit more enthusiastic, and it finally felt like dating to you. 2 weeks later, Patrick invited all friends to a crayfish party at his summer house. For all of you who are not familiar with this strong Swedish tradition, it involves a lot of schnapps too. This probably helped to take away the shyness. Once Patrick took out that photograph from Paris, telling Jennifer that he looks at it all the time, Jennifer, you recalled. That is the night when he won me over. And you, Patrick, noticed her heartfelt reaction and sensed that could be something. After this night, Patrick's version of the story is that you took a long time to get to know each other, just the two of you, without showing at parties and such. Jennifer's line of the story is more, He wanted to go at the speed of light. And it took only 2 weeks to show themselves as a couple to their friends. Patrick, you are surely a super fast person, sometimes living 10 years ahead. But again, cultural differences show. In Sweden, for instance, you can discuss how many children you want to have on the second date. Whereas in the US, this is a more delicate issue you better don't touch if you don't want to appear very desperate. Bearing this in mind, after 3 or 4 months of your relationship, you visited a flea market together, where you, Patrick, found an old letterbox. You explained Jennifer right on the spot that this would be the letterbox for the house you would build for both of you. You were clever enough not to mention the children you envisioned. Still, this left Jennifer rather puzzled. You, Jennifer, kind of believed him, but weren't sure if this really would happen. When you think of building a house, you want to know where it is built, how many rooms it will have, and many details more. But first of all, you want to move in with this person first, before dreaming of a future home. Jennifer and Patrick, of course, noticed what different personalities they have. This didn't stop them loving each other, but rather showed them what lies ahead to make this relationship work. Maybe it was lucky that you stem from different cultures and languages, as you never took a shared understanding for granted. It always meant an effort to bridge differences in language and culture. You realize your different language skills forces you to be humble with each other. You always need to make extra sure if what was said was meant like you understood it. Sometimes you weren't sure if you would make it, as it felt so hard, but you didn't give up, and you made well. You, Patrick, had been deeply impressed by Jennifer on your first proper date. Still today you admire her vast intelligence. You go so far to say that her brain is more evolved. This is not a joke. Your original mind meets hers when you talk about the big issues. You are fascinated by her calmness in any situation of life. You're also very grateful to her, as she has developed you a lot in dealing with emotions. You said, "I'm so much calmer now in a super positive way. I'm eager to do stuff, and she taught me how to be more selective. I used to get irritated quicker when we met, but she showed me that she is doing it her way, and I just need to wait. She taught me to wait and give people time to do it in their own pace. Issues you had kind of grew away while you both grew together, and that she understands also the hard places of having a chronic disease." Jennifer comes from a very strong female line of ancestors. In your words, you are a super strong woman in a total positive way. And further, she's unshakable even though she's doubtful about herself and very sensitive too. What matters maybe most to you, Patrick, is that having an equal relationship is so natural with Jennifer. The feeling of having a true teammate, even though her stubbornness can drive you crazy sometimes. Yet you know that you need a woman at your side to resist you. You told me, "When no one stops me, I'm gradually taking over." But not with Jennifer. She's more like a concrete wall where you hit your head. This can be very uncomfortable, but it makes you go back and think about her and find ways to pitch your ideas right and take her wants and needs in account too. You concluded yourself, this is the reason actually why it works. She's the most independent person I know in the world, and besides me, the most stubborn one. We are a bit like rocks rubbing against each other. Jennifer, you described it very beautifully. My weaknesses and his weaknesses, his strength and my strength match up that make us better people. And this makes you an outstanding couple. The defining moment for you, Jennifer, was when he explained his feelings so well, telling you about that trip to Iceland. You were like, I love this guy. You admire him for what he has been through with his MS, and still he can be the happiest person you know. After getting to know his story, you really felt for him. This should last. We could stick together. He has the most positive outlook onto the world, which can get annoyingly positive, as he sometimes can't see problems but solutions. Patrick taught you to be open and not to shy away from conflicts. You love his honesty and that he talks about things. In fact, he can't stop talking. This high level of communication was completely new to you, and even though it was hard for you as a more introverted person, you quickly gained how beneficial it is for you and for you as a couple. You even said, I'm completely different since I met Patrick. I'm a better person. Meeting Patrick opened up for you the possibility to be a mom, as he wants to be so involved and share the work at home. He is an amazing father and started a company to be around the kids and be the best dad he possibly can be. For you, he is also a great co-parent, as he is so supportive in any possible way you can imagine. When you read new parenting books, he asks you to explain everything to him. The level of support you receive from him has no comparison. And in fact, when things got hard before Liam's birth, you said, I've never felt as supported in my life. You are convinced that you wouldn't have children with anyone as caring as him. Several times you, Jennifer, simply and very sweetly said, Patrick is an amazing guy. Still, his visions way ahead of time are hard to grasp for you, but you decided to trust him more as he had proven to be more than a daydreamer. At the same time, you, Patrick, treasure her being anchored in the here and now and her way of thinking, and don't expect her to be bouncing up and down like you do when coming up with a new idea. Dear Jennifer and Patrick, you share an amazing partnership. To approach each other again and again, despite all the differences, and finding ways to make connection possible and your love grow. Everyone present here knows this is not an easy task. But you made it work and will make it work. Getting married is part of this journey. When Patrick dropped the idea to check Jennifer's openness, she picked it up enthusiastically. Let's buy the rings! He cooled her down because first Patrick wanted to talk to her dad. The whole family's blessing mattered to him deeply. Then you, Patrick, planned a trip. At every station, a bouquet of flowers or notes were delivered to Jennifer when you turned up. You visited amazing and spectacular places, but dropped the question quite unexpectedly in a jacuzzi. You, Jennifer, flew into his arms, completely forgetting to say yes. You, Patrick, were so thoughtful of your beloved and knew you were probably not be able to choose a ring she liked. How could I buy a ring for her, is what you stated. Jennifer, you in turn wore that plastic ring for quite a long time until you chose the proper one and kept the dried flowers of the bouquet until today. How sweet can it get? You invested into this relationship to make it work and to have it grow and evolve. You founded this beautiful family with 2 amazing children. With all the changes and challenges you had, you're very firm about you being the foundation of your relationship and your family. The feeling of being a team. You call yourself Team Patifa. Patifa maybe stands for working towards a mutual understanding, even if it sometimes feels like hitting a concrete wall. Even if the constant flow of new ideas along with bursting excitement feels like, oh. But let me assure you, from the outside, the beauty of you guys reaching out for each other, of you setting your partnership a priority, of being committed, talking to each other, infuse your dreams and goals, that each one of you still can stay the strong and sometimes stubborn person, this is truly beautiful. Your wish to marry grounds in the belief that your bond will get even stronger and that it will bring even more stability for your foundation of your relationship. You are both committed to do this next step. You have planned and waited for so many years. But now we are approaching this very moment. Patrick, you said this is the biggest thing you have achieved in your life. Jennifer, you explained how you celebrate the small things, and sure you want to celebrate the biggest thing in your life. I guess I can speak for everyone here. We feel very honored to exactly do this. Celebrating your most wonderful relationship, your hard rock commitment and deep love, which is as unique as you are. May I ask for the rings?
Looking for adventure and whatever comes our way. Yeah, I know it could happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. All of the guys.
Thank you, Austin. Jennifer and Patrick, you have come here today with the intention to make your bond even stronger and express your love toward one another.
Patrick och Jennifer, ni har kommit hit för att göra ert band ännu starkare.
Do you promise to listen deeply to one another, to see each other's strengths and weaknesses, to continue to learn and grow as a person and as a couple?
Yes.
Lovar ni att dela era svagheter och styrkor för att tillsammans bli ett starkare par?
Do you promise to have fun together and always make room for your connection and relationship?
Lovar ni att alltid älska varandra och alltid göra rum för nya relationer mellan er?
Ja.
Yes.
Do you promise to support each other's passion, the kind of passion that puts a glow in one another's eyes?
Yes.
Lovar ni att dela era passioner?
Yeah. Patrick, jag älskar dig. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And all I can say is, grow old with me, because the best is yet to be.
Patrick, jag älskar dig. Bli gammal med mig, för det bästa är det som kommer nu.
Let me see. I love your wisdom and I love your strength.
Jag älskar din styrka och jag älskar din vishet.
That challenges me to be a better person.
That challenged me to be a better person.
My life with
För mig att bli en bättre person.
my life with you is extraordinary.
My life with you is extraordinary.
I'm eager to see what the future holds.
I'm really eager to see what the future holds. I'm sorry.
You're married anyway.
Oh,
You are truly married now. Time to kiss.
I knew it.
We need to kiss again.
These are two Stockholm archipelagos. They represent you as strong, independent personalities. If you look at them, you can notice that these pieces of rock gotten softer and more round-shaped over time due to the impact of weather and so. I wish you that you will stay as independent, free-spirited and strong-minded as you are. I wish you also that you stay open to change and continue to refine your relationship into something even stronger and more beautiful. Dear guests, Jennifer and Patrick will leave us some photographs, but will be very happy to receive congratulations during the party. After Jennifer and Patrick will have exited the ceremony, everyone else leaves for snacks, drinks and some games waiting down in the barn. Tack så mycket. Thank you very much.